In today's video, I'm going to show you guys the worst to best all Rust Prim guns, where we're going to rank 10 different weapons from worst to best, and we're going to discuss some stats on each of them. So let's get started. So the first weapon we're going to talk about is the Handmade SMG. Now the Handmade SMG is an extremely basic automatic firearm, and it does give low damage and accuracy. In order to craft this, you would need yourself 5 HQM and 200 frags, workbench level 1, and a metal spring. Now this does take pistol ammunition, including pistol bullets, HV pistol ammo, and incendiary pistol bullet. It does give 429 rounds per minute, and it takes 4 seconds to reload. In terms of damage, it does give 20 damage. The next weapon we have ourselves is a mini crossbow. This is a very accurate ranged weapon with a rotating barrel. Now you can craft this with workbench level 1, 200 wood, 150 metal frags, rope, and gears. Now this does take all of types of arrows, including high velocity arrows, bone arrows, wooden arrows, and fire arrows. Obviously it depends on which arrow you take when it comes to damage. For example, a wooden arrow gives 50 damage and the bone arrow gives 40 damage. Now it does take 2.67 seconds to reload and 1.6 seconds to draw, and its rate of fire is 60 rounds per minute. The next weapon we have is the hunting bow. This is a very useful weapon for when it comes to short and medium range combat, and arrows shots have a chance to break when they hit, so be sure to carry more on you than just one arrow. This can either use regular arrows or high velocity arrows, which are able to go faster, but they obviously do less damage. In order to craft this, all you need is just 200 wood and 50 cloth, which is very simple to do, and its rate of fire is 60 rounds per second. It does take 1 second to reload and 1 second to draw. The next weapon we have ourselves is the nail gun. Now in order to craft the nail gun, it is also quite easy. You need workbench level 1, 75 metal frags, and 15 metal scrap. The nail gun is very easy to get, it's very cheap, and makes a good secondary weapon when in early game. For this you would require nail gun nails, which gives 18 damage, and it gives 400 rounds per minute. It does take 3.1 seconds to reload and 0.5 seconds to draw. Next we have ourselves the Eoka. The Eoka Pistol is very cheap and very ineffective and very unreliable firearm. It does fire shotgun ammunition in a wide arc and is capable of killing opponents in just one hit. In order to craft the Eoka, all you need is just 75 wood and 30 metal frags, and it takes all types of slugs, including 12 gauge slug, 12 gauge incendiary, handmade shells, and 12 gauge buckshot. Obviously the damage does depend on which ammunition you use. For example, a 12 gauge buckshot gives 210 damage. Next we have ourselves the Waterpipe Shotgun. The Waterpipe Shotgun is also a low tier gun that deals a decent amount of damage from close range. And this can be loaded with 12 gauge slug to deal less damage but shoot further. In order to craft this, you would require workbench level 1, 150 wood, and 75 metal frag. As for ammunition, it does take all types of 12 gauge shells, including 12 gauge slugs, 12 gauge incendiary and handmade shells, and 12 gauge buckshots. Now this does give 180 damage, and it has 4.5 seconds to reload and 2.4 seconds to draw. Next we have ourselves the compound bow, which is the most powerful bow. This can easily kill a player with one shot. Pulling the bow while keeping stationary will increase the velocity and damage of the arrow. In order to craft it, you would require workbench level 1, 100 wood, 75 metal frags, and 2 feet rope. This does take all types of arrows as we mentioned before, and it depends on which arrow you're using and how long you've been pulling the bow. For example, a high velocity arrow can deal damage between 40 to 80. And a wooden arrow can deal between 50 and 100. It does take 1 second to reload and 1 second to draw. Next we have ourselves a crossbow, which is a low tier weapon that can fire either high velocity or regular arrows at a decent distance. This weapon can give high damage and is a great option when paired with a water pipe. In order to craft this, you would require workbench level 1, 200 wood, 75 metal frags, and 2 feet rope. As for damage, it depends on the arrow that you use. For example, a high velocity arrow gives 48 damage and the wooden arrow gives 60 damage. It does take 3.0 seconds to reload and 1.6 seconds to draw. Next we have ourselves the Revolver, but probably one of the best early game weapons that you can get. It is a bit inaccurate, but it does have quick rate of fire, being 343 rounds per minute. It only holds 8 shots though, but it's still an upgrade from all of the other early weapons. In order to craft this, you would require workbench level 1, 1 metal pipe, 25 cloth, and 125 metal frags. As for pistol bullet damage, it does give 35, same with HV pistol ammo, and as for incendiary, it gives 39.2. It does take 3.4 seconds to reload and 0.5 seconds to draw. And the final weapon we have, which is in my opinion the best starter weapon, is the double barrel shotgun. The double barrel shotgun is capable of one-hitting enemies within its effective range. It can also be dropped by a lot of different ways. In order to craft this, you would need 2 metal pipes and 175 metal frags, and obviously workbench level 1. As for damage, it does depend on which shell you are using. For example, the weakest one being the 12 gauge slug gives 80 damage, and as for 12 gauge buckshot, it gives 210 damage. Its rate of fire is 120 rounds per minute, and its reloading time is 5.5 seconds, but its draw time is 1.75 seconds. If you guys would like to see more gun details when it goes into extreme detail, for example when it comes to attachments, and a lot more stuff like skins as well, I will have a link in the description below where you guys can check it out and get yourself much more information. In the video we only show major items and stats, so make sure to check it out if you're interested. And that is it for this video. I really hope that you guys did learn something new. Let me know what you guys think, let me know which is your favorite, and let me know which type of videos would you like to see in the future. Make sure to check out RustyRev servers on Rust, and the Discord will be linked in the description below, or the link rustyrev.com. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.